Okay, so I'm going to need your current pay stubs, and I'm going to need your tax returns for the last 2 years. Did you file your 2015 yet?
Yeah, you don't need that.
Well, no,
How can I help you though? I'm going to make this process easy for you.
Okay, to help me,
Okay.
I need you to give me your tax returns. Have you filed your 2015 tax return yet?
Yeah, no.
Okay, then in that case, I need 2013.
I don't think you need that.
No, I need 2013 tax returns, all pages, 2014 tax returns, all pages, and W-2s. And if you file 2015...
Listen to me. You don't need that. Do you know that I have 800 credit scores? Do you know?
I understand that.
Listen to me now. I'll tell you what you need. I'm putting 30% down.
I understand
You don't need that! Oh my gosh.
Head. That was quite the explosion.
What was that all about? Man.
Don't lose your head.
Hey, be nice. Hello, everybody. My name is Barry Horvath, and this is Moving Forward TV, your local market update. And I'm getting my head back on.
And I am Delynn Gaston. Thanks for joining us. On today's show...
Have you ever used one of these?
Barry's head is exploding. No, I know, but they're very cold.
It's amazing. It's very cold, but it seems to keep my head on.
And keep your headaches down. We understand that getting a mortgage sometime is a big headache to people.
Not for me, because I'm not giving you what you need. I'm just trying to help you, ma'am.
And a lot of times it gets very frustrating for the buyers and the realtors and the sellers because the mortgage person is driving them crazy, asking them for everything except the dog's blood type, it seems.
Yes.
But there's a reason, huh?
Yes, there's a very good reason for that, Delynn. I mean, part of the reason we're in the boat we're in, actually, the fourth major bank just got shazammed. And actually, it happened in January, but now it's all public and it's all over the media.
I'll bet his head's exploding too,
huh?
Yeah,
Mr. Goldman. But
Mr.
anyway,
Goldman Sachs.
But Goldman Sachs was just fined $5 billion, just over $5 billion,
5.06,
No,
I think it is.
I think it's 5.08, but who's counting?
When it's up a billion.
Yeah,
billion with a B, billion.
For basically packaging up shoddy mortgages. I mean, what they did was back in the boom time between 05 and 07 when, everybody was
the worst of the times.
When everybody was a walk-on water borrower in their own mind.
Exactly.
Goldman Sachs packaged up, and they're not the only bank that was doing this, so don't get me wrong, because 4 other banks have already been hammered for this. They misled investors and told them they were walk-on-water borrowers and packaged them up with other good loans. And these were loans that had no chances of really performing. They were the 228s, the 327s of the world. Do you remember those?
Yes, I do.
Which basically was an arm that, after 2 years,
went to over 9%.
Well, not necessarily 9%, but the floor was the start rate, and it would go to whatever, and then people couldn't afford it.
Right.
So yeah, it was, and it's a huge, huge deal.
And most of those times, those people were in those loans because they had lower credit scores, or they had, payment issues, or debt to income ratio issues, things like that. And that's why they were in those loans anyway. They were liar loans.
Well,
unfortunately.
Let me let you in on a secret, though.
And they were packaged with people who were very good, who had great credit scores, or had very good income, was able to prove everything. And they were packaged together, Goldman Sachs, and not only Goldman Sachs, they all got caught, we know that. It's just their turn in
Time to pay the
because,
piper.
Yeah,
But you know
Bank
what?
of America already got clobbered for it. Wells
Wells Fargo.
already got clobbered. Chase, everybody. So now Goldman Sachs. Of course, this is one of the bigger nuts I think that we've seen.
Yes, and it's a big deal in the industry right now because we do not want history to repeat itself. So hence why my head explodes when you ask me for all those documents, Dylan.
Exactly. So one of the things that we get a lot when the realtors...
Do people call you all the time?
They do. They call me all the time.
Let's make this clear.
I wish.
People are going to call
They
her all
do.
the time. You guys have been watching our show for 5
You're
years.
too far away for me to...
People are, no matter what, people are going to call her all the time. So
All right, so I get a lot of the same questions, and people will question all the time when we start asking for the documentation that is needed. People will question.
Here,
what,
have a nice pack.
Why do you need that?
You got a headache?
Or tell me you don't need that. Things like that. But from the real estate perspective, the realtors are wonderful, and the very first thing that you guys do is you call and you say, "What can I do to help?"
Excuse me, back up. I just heard you on the phone with an agent a few minutes ago. You didn't say he was wonderful on that call.
That wasn't an agent. That was a client I was talking to.
So you
He
had a
was
wonderful-
arguing with me, in all honesty, just like you, with what I didn't need.
Yeah, I know.
And
Don't you love it? It's like going to the doctor and say, examine me, tell me what's wrong with me, and then you don't listen to what he prescribes. And then
Right.
you're like, I don't feel better. How come I'm not getting better?
Or I have a pain right here, and he says, well, lift your shirt and let me see. No, you can't look under my shirt. How's he supposed to know what's there if he doesn't look?
Hey, this is a family show,
I
Dylan. Sorry.
But the realtors ask us, what can I do to help in the beginning of the transaction? So we figured we would go through what you can do to help. And you are a huge help to us in the beginning.
Huge.
If we get everything that we need up front as quickly as we can between the realtors and the buyers, everything will go smoothly. For the most part.
Nice disclaimer. Nice disclaimer on there, Dylan.
But we're going to also
All right.
talk about when it doesn't and what we can do.
But you know it's different today? There are some changes now, like
Yes.
every day. If you don't like what we told you today, wait till tomorrow, because we'll have new information for you. But a lot of things have changed in the industry, and now we need little things up front just to make it. So we want to be on the same team as a real estate professional. And all real estate professionals, whoever you're working with in the lending world, make sure you guys are on the same page. You're communicating, you're open, you have that rapport, because you're going to be married to that person for the next 45 to 60 days.
Right.
Like it or not, or longer.
Right.
Sometimes 30, but
Right.
in a good world. So what are some of the things, Dylan, that
Okay,
would
so
make it smoother?
Some of
so
the
you don't
urgent,
need an ice pack in your head
right
doesn't
up front,
explode.
right up front, quick things that we need.
Have you seen this?
From the real estate professional? We need both realtors for the new CDs that are being done, the closing disclosures. We need your license numbers, name, phone number, and email address. Very important. Email, phone number, and licenses for both realtors involved in the transaction. One, it's for the CD, and two, it's for communication
Yes.
purposes. So if you can get me that listing agent's number, and license number and email address, that makes things go smoother. The other thing, title company.
Title company. We need to know who is the title company, where are they located?
Yes.
Do we have a contact person at that title company? Are they just holding the escrow, or are they actually doing the closing? It's
Right,
very
because that
important.
happens a lot too. Sometimes the name on the contract they're just holding escrow, they're not doing the closing. So I need to know who's doing the closing.
And
the next thing that we have to know is there a survey? Is there
Survey
already an existing survey?
says-
That always seems to be one of those things kind of like the last minute people are running around. Did we need a survey? Did we get a survey? So just find out right away up front. It's going to be one of the first questions your mortgage person is going to ask.
Hey, Dylan.
Do we have a survey?
Listen, I know you want to talk about survey and what we need, but I'm hungry. Can we go to break and let's see what Casey's cooking today.
I think she's cooking good stuff.
Let's go see what she's cooking.
I'm Casey Quinetti. This is Chat and Dish, and today we are going to be shouting tequila in the form of a magnificent chocolate cake. Ingredients on this are really pretty simple as long as you stay away from drinking too much tequila before you get started. We're going to need 1 3/4 sticks of butter, a pinch of salt, 3/4 cup of sugar, 5 eggs, 3 tablespoons cocoa powder, 3 tablespoons of tequila coffee liqueur, and 8 ounces of a really good dark chocolate. That's it. Let's go make cake. I've got my batter in a heat-proof dish, and it's going to be used like basically a double boiler. And now I'm just adding my chocolate because what I want to do is get these two melted together. Now the chocolate and the butter go over a pan of simmering water, not in it. You don't want the bottom to touch the water, just over it. While the chocolate is melting, we can go ahead and separate our eggs. I always do this into a separate bowl for a couple reasons. Make sure that the egg is good, and make sure that we don't get any egg yolk into our whites. If you do, the whites will not beat up nice and stiff. Okay, our butter's melted, but our chocolate's not, so it needs to stay on there a little bit longer. I'm just combining my sugar, my cocoa powder, and my salt. I'm just going to mix those up before I take a step further. Let's combine our tequila and our egg yolks. That's 3 tablespoons, actually 4. 1 more for the cake, and then a little bit for me. Oh, that's so good. I'm just combining the egg yolks and the tequila. Smells delicious. And now I'm going to pour in my sugar, my salt, and my cocoa, and just mix those together. Our chocolate is just about melted. It's going to need about 2 more minutes. While I'm waiting for the chocolate to finish, I'm going to go ahead and beat my eggs. Perfect. Nice stiff peaks. That's when they stand straight up and they salute you when they're really nice and stiff. Ooh, my chocolate is all nicely melted. Now I'm going to combine the chocolate and butter along with the egg yolks and sugar and cocoa powder. All right, just mix these two together, super simple. Okay, this is all mixed in together nicely. The melted butter and the chocolate have combined with our sugar and our cocoa powder, so we're ready to go on to the next step. I like to cool down my chocolate mixture just a little bit by pouring it into a large bowl. You know what, that also makes it much easier to mix in our egg whites. All right, mixing in the egg whites, we're going to do this very gently, and we're also going to do it 1/3 at a time. So just take 1/3 of your egg whites and then gently fold them in, and that is a nice circular motion with your big spoon or spatula. You don't want to smash that air down. You want to keep it in there and just lightly incorporate it. Okay, here's my second third going in. My batter is very light and fluffy now. Okay, now the last third of our egg whites are going to go in, and we'll be finished with our batter. At this point, you can either take nonstick coating and spray your baking dish, or you can butter the dish. And then most people would say, and flour it, but when I'm doing something very chocolatey, instead of using flour in my baking dish, I like to use chocolate cocoa powder. That way, you don't have those white edges from the flour. Same process as the flour, just cocoa instead. Time to pour the batter into our baking dish. A quick tap on the countertop takes out any giant air bubbles, and it's ready to go into a 350-degree oven for 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, I tasted the cake at 30 minutes, but it wasn't quite done, so let's give it another test and see. Perfect, there's no batter on the toothpick. It's time to take the cake out. Okay, I've cooled my cake a little bit, or inverted it onto my serving platter, and now what I'm going to do is just dust it with powdered sugar. If you want to be totally decadent, you can actually mix your tequila liqueur with powdered sugar and then do a glaze on top of the cake. But since I'm serving this to my next door neighbors a little bit later on, and they have little kids, I am not going to put any more tequila in it. Oh, don't worry, the tequila that's in the cake, the alcohol baked off while it was in the oven, so don't worry about that. But if you make a glaze with the tequila, it's going to be actual alcohol, so that's not for kids. Now let's pull this off and take a quick look at it. Ooh, looks fabulous. No, I didn't forget the flour in this cake. Il Patron chocolate tequila cake has absolutely no flour in it, so yes, it is not only decadent, it is gluten-free. Until next time, ciao.
All right, Dylan, I'm not going to lie. After I saw that Patron tequila chocolate cake, my head's all better. How could it not?
You know, anything with tequila, chocolate, and cake all in the same sentence?
Yeah, it's got to be good. But
I'm
you know
on
what?
board.
I think if you ate enough of that cake, your head would probably explode the next morning from all the tequila.
True.
I'm just saying.
Thanks,
Did
Casey.
you know that tequila is one of the only few alcohols that's not a depressant?
No, I did not know that.
That's a whole nother show.
The things you learn on Moving Forward TV.
Hey, we're just full of,
Wisdom.
yeah, we just are. We are.
Especially tequila wisdom.
Anyway, what were we
All right.
talking about?
So back to documentation
Back to the tequila and my head exploding.
and what the realtors can
Excuse
help.
me. That was funny.
Sorry. I'm just moving on.
All right, you move forward.
What we can do, what the realtors can do to help through the whole process, start to finish, to get everything to the closing table on time. Yes, we could use your help. Probably the biggest thing we can use your help with, in addition to all of the upfront stuff from the title issues and people and all of that,
There's issues with title?
educate the buyer and educate the sellers, actually. Educate the sellers. The whole world has changed. We know the whole world has changed, the lending world and the closing world. There's new forms, new regulations. Everybody knows that. So probably the biggest thing is to educate everyone in that it's not the same world it used to be. And educate your seller, too. We can't have just a drop-dead date.
We're not doing
need
another trade
flexibility.
show. I don't care how many times you ask me.
I know.
We are not
I know. I
doing it.
promise. I don't want to do a trade show either.
All right,
But-
so let's talk about the repercussions if they don't provide what we're really asking
Well,
for.
no, let's. We wanted to go first. You're not following script.
I don't. Since when do we use a script on this show? Oh my
Well,
gosh!
the
hey,
notes-
Hey, speaking of script, did you know the Lightning are in the playoffs? They're playing the Detroit Red Wings. Do you know who they are?
Yes, they're from Detroit.
This is for. Ah! Very good. You rock. You rock. You rock. All right.
Anyway, are we going to go to hockey or are we going to go on with
we
the
won't
show?
talk about it, but it is for
All
the
right, so
Stanley
some of
Cup
the-
final playoffs. It's very exciting. It's my favorite time of the year.
It is exciting.
You know, I mean, you can talk about W-2s, pay stubs, tax returns, U4s, upside down, headaches, whatever, tequila, hockey rules.
And that wraps up the show.
Let's go, Lightning.
All right,
Sorry.
so getting back to educating the buyer.
Right.
Obviously, that is the mortgage person's job to gather all the documentation together. If you could just give them a heads up, though, and I
have
know
que-
a lot of you out
I
there
have a question
do.
for our audience before you move on. Do you ever feel like we're doing
I'll get
two
through
different?
this one of these days.
Do you guys ever feel like we do two different shows?
Yeah, he's in his own little world. I'm trying to give some valuable information here.
I just want to make sure that we're clear that we're not on the same show. There's a divider over here. My show is fun. Yours is very lame. Sorry.
But good information.
That's true. You do have some
All
valid
right.
points.
So if you can just give the buyers a heads up with some of the stuff we're going to be
Heads
asking
up.
for. A lot of you realtors have been in this industry. I can't even have him have toys, you know?
That's
A lot of you
an
realtors
ice
have
pack
been in
is
the
a
industry
toy.
for a long time, so you know the game. You know what to tell people. Here's some of the difficult things we run into. People are moving down from up north or whatever else, and I say to them, I need your tax returns, and I need your pay stubs, and I need this kind of thing, and they say, oh, those are packed in a pod. Well, unpack them, because guess
You know-
what? I need them.
You know what's so funny, too, is because I know we make fun of our teaser a lot, but just because you have 800 credit scores
Right.
and you're putting 50%
It
down,
doesn't make a
it doesn't
difference.
matter. The documentation is the same. Now, are you
Federal
more likely to
guidelines.
get approval with 50% down?
Yes.
Probably. It strengthens the file. If you show a lot of assets, if your credit's good.
Right.
But it is, you
But
know,
it doesn't mean you don't have to verify your income.
you
It
still
doesn't mean
do.
we don't have
If you
to.
put 99% down,
Right.
we still have to go through the same process, and your lender will too, no matter who
So
you
give
are.
your buyers a heads up. We're going to ask for all kinds of documentation. Don't pack that stuff away. If you are packing up your house, don't put them in a pod somewhere because we're going to need pay stubs, tax returns, 2 years. If they've changed jobs, I need the address and phone numbers of the previous employer as well.
Tell us
we
what
have
else
to
you need,
have a
Delaney.
two-year residence history.
What else, Delaney?
We need to know where
What else
they've
can I not
lived
help
in
you
the
with?
last 2 years. If they are self-employed, I need business tax returns for 2 years as well.
I love our show.
So just make sure the customer is just well aware that your lender is going to ask for all kinds of paperwork. Please prepare it for them and please have it ready. The other thing is assets. All assets have to be verified. That 50% they're putting down, or even if they're only putting 3% down, I have to see where it's coming from. I frequently get bank statements
You.
or a screenshot of somebody's bank account. not good enough. Let them know I need actual statements. Don't throw that stuff away. And I need all pages. If it says 7
So
of
wait a
7,
minute.
I need 7 of 7.
So
Hold
wait-
on.
no.
Even if
No,
page 7,
Go ahead.
even if page 7
Fine.
is blank.
All right, so didn't you have a borrower that had money in his mattress and he wanted to take a picture of it? Isn't that verification?
No.
So we can't count mattress money.
Can't count mattress money. So I know cash is king in a lot of worlds. Not when it comes to
not this
getting a
world. huh?
mortgage.
Not in the real world. Well, actually, it is. I'd love to have a pile of cash.
Now, I know you all love your cash buyers, but if they're buying a $150,000 house and they're putting $100,000 down, that's awesome. However,
Wait, there's more.
if they're getting that $50,000 loan, we need all of this documentation. And I need to see where that $100,000 down payment came from.
If it's a gift from a relative, we're going to need to source that as well. We're going to need to verify that their donorability, their
Right.
ability to donate to you or gift to you.
So
per
please
se.
tell the clients and switch that money over as soon as possible. Talk to your mortgage person first. Don't just make deposits into the account. Don't just have grandma give them $5,000 or whatever it's going to be.
Hey,
we do have to document it
Leave
first.
grandma out of this. She's a good lady.
We do have to document it, so
We all
have
love
them talk to
grandma.
their mortgage professional who will walk them through the steps. But don't wait until 3 days before closing to transfer that gift from grandma. It all has to be done ahead of time. Or if they're cashing in stocks and bonds, it has to be switched over ahead of time. Really important that we watch the whole paper trail.
Lynn, we need to go to break because I need a nap after all this information.
Sorry. All right, we'll be right back.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short term, long term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
We're back.
I know I'm always so passionate about this.
I know you are. You know,
I know, I
you
just-
love you love mortgage stocks. I love hockey.
I know. I do get passionate about this because I love to help people get into their homes.
It is
and
real-
I love to
it
see
really
this
is a great-
transaction go smoothly. And
say that
there's-
again?
I love the transactions that go smoothly, but I want everyone on the same page where it doesn't always happen. So we wanted to kind of touch on the delays.
Yeah. So if you don't do what we tell you to, or what DeLynn tells you to
Clients,
do, or your lender tells you
and
to.
sometimes, you know what, they
and-
do tell us these things and they do provide their documentation, but there are still out of our control, out of everyone's control, delays that happen. So from the realtor's point, we're asking, all mortgage people asking, don't put 30 days on a contract.
Nope.
It's because sometimes delays happen and it's out of everyone's control.
And you know what?
Put 45, just
45 just
we'll
to be on
close
the
it
safe
quicker.
side. And you know what's so funny? Because it is a seller's market. So a realtor thinks they're being smart by moving in and saying, oh, let me get a 30-day contract, then
Right.
they'll take my offer. And then what happens when there's a delay?
Then everybody's upset.
Everybody's mad, and then the seller's
My
like,
hair's turning
why do
gray.
I have to sign an extension? I don't
Chewing all
want
my
to sign an extension.
fake fingernails off.
Yeah, you got big finger. You got
And
pretty
then,
fingernails.
and then,
Let's check
and
those
then,
out.
like you said, and then the sellers are all angry because they got their
it's
utilities
like I
turned
don't
on
even-
in their new.
Sometimes I talk to her, she doesn't even hear me. I swear.
The other wife.
Hello. I just complimented your fingernails. It's probably
Thank
the
you.
first compliment you've gotten all day.
Thank you. It is.
See, you don't even know how to take it.
But-
Back to the documents.
Back to the documents. If you educate
Jeez.
the sellers too that there could potentially be delays, it would be wonderful to close in 60 days, but or in 30 days, but I don't want everybody angry that we need, 5 extra days or something because of the new TRID laws and because of the delays that are out of our control. What are some of the delays, Barry?
Well, I'm going to tell you the big one this time of year. It's tax season.
It is.
4506. Does anybody know what a 4506 is?
I do.
Oh, shocking! Delynn knows what a 4506 is. Delynn, tell our viewers what a 4506 is.
I know a lot of the realtors know this as well. It's the verification. All tax returns that the customer supplies the mortgage company with have to be verified through the IRS. It's 100% mandatory, happens on all of them, every single processor. And it is one of the early things we do in the transaction is we send out for the 4506 for the tax returns to be verified.
I didn't ask you to print one. I just said tell them what it is.
However, it's April.
What's the form
IRS,
number in the right bottom hand
they're
corner?
a wee bit
Do you know?
busy right now.
Do you know the last print date on the bottom? You probably do. They probably put a serial number on it, and you know what it is.
I don't.
Really?
But I want to tell them the important information on it, not what the serial number is.
Well, I figured you knew that
The
too.
important information is that this 4506 is mandatory. It has to be verified. The person's tax returns that they handed the mortgage person, we have to
right.
verify that that's the same one that they filed with the IRS. And guess what? If you're self-employed, I need the business tax returns as well, and those have to be verified. And right now,
All right.
the IRS told us that they are taking until June
And it's April.
to process these.
That's not a good thing. So you might have to go to the prior 2 years, is what you're saying.
Talk to your mortgage person. They will help you through this process.
Hopefully. Did I say that out loud?
If they're good. If they're good.
What about verification of employment? Those are all
Verification-
easy to get.
verification of
Everyone.
employments, yes.
It's no problem. You just call them up. Hey, does Bill work there? Yeah, Bill works here. Boom. Hang up. Done, right?
Sometimes. Sometimes it is that simple, to be perfectly honest with you. But if we have somebody who is, sometimes people in the medical field, they work different hours, that kind of a thing. So we need to get a written verification of employment. Or if they work at a company like Publix, when they do these, it's an organization that we have to go through to verify this person's employment, and it's called the work number. In order to verify through the work number, the employee has to get us something called a salary key. And this is always very challenging. These are some of the delays we run into. People aren't sure what to get. These are the things that take time and slow the process down.
Listen to me. You're wearing me out, girl.
Sorry, I just want
This
people.
is exhausting.
I just want
I'm not
people,
even buying a house, and I feel like
I just want people to know that some of these
All right.
these
What-
delays
what
are
else?
out of people's
what
control.
What about utilities? Should they be connected to Lynn for the appraiser to go out? I'm just asking the question. I don't know the answer.
I know we've hammered this one so many times, but you as the listing agent, please, 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 please make sure the utilities are on.
Why?
So many times the appraiser goes out there, the utilities aren't on, they are not allowed. You do have some appraisers who are kind enough to turn them on, but other appraisers are afraid. They don't know if it's off for a reason, the water or the electric or something like that. So please make sure the utilities are on. That causes another delay, several days for a re-inspection for
All
the
right.
appraiser to go
Bottom
out
line,
again.
They need utilities on.
Yes.
What about assets? Do they need to verify those?
Assets, yes. We already talked about assets. Everything has to be verified and transfer the money early.
Do we need the most
Early.
recent ones? What
Yes.
about pay stubs? Do we need the most recent
Always,
ones?
always, always. With pay stubs, keep them coming. Bank statements, keep them coming. Your earnest money check, that $1,000 that you wrote out.
What
I
about
need to cancel
re-inspections,
checks.
Delynn? Tell me about re-inspections.
If something
Oh my
is
gosh.
wrong and it has to be fixed, a re-inspection, again, all of these things we don't know up front a lot of the
right.
time, so please plan on factoring those in. And then finally, at the title company, if this was a bank foreclosure or something like that, there might be liens they're trying to clear.
Yes.
There might be water attachments and things
what
like
about
that.
estoppel letters?
Estoppel letters and things. Those are the things that take the title company a while to get. So
All right,
give
listen.
everybody some time.
These people got a
Educate
life.
your sellers.
They got a life. Work with your mortgage professional.
Important, very
It's
important.
very important. He'll educate you through the process. Don't have delays. And get the show out there. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter.
Share us, like us.
What are we on?
Have people watch this.
Yeah.
Tumblr.
Because we're funny. Or at least she is. Or
His
she-
show is funny. Mine, I'm told, is lame. So
It's all right, though.
thanks.
You know
Love
what?
you too. Thanks, everyone. We are today and every day.
Moving forward.
We'll see everyone next week. Bye-bye.